we go out there and leave it all there on the floor. And, win or lose at the end of the day, when we step off this floor, we have life. It's everyday life, family, kids, wives, whatever it may be. That's what matters. Playing the game of basketball is just something we love to do, and obviously we're passionate in it and want to be the best in it. And but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Whether you lose a game, lose a championship, or it just don't pan out the way you want it to be. At the end of the day, if you can go home to your family, that's what matters.
So, Isaiah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
How are you finding media day so far?
It's cool. It's cool. It's always good to get out here and smile a little bit.
Nice. So, we're going to talk about a story that obviously affected you quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, 19 years ago, in late August 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit the southeastern part of the US.
Right.
And caused so much damage, and thousands of people died. There were billions of dollars worth of damage.
Mm-hmm.
How did you end up experiencing Hurricane Katrina, and how did it end up with you being in the attic of a church?
Well, I'm from a small town, Biloxi, Mississippi, which is, roughly an hour 15 from New Orleans, east. So, we wasn't too far from New Orleans, which is, had the levees problem. And if you really, pay attention to hurricanes, everybody know the right side of all hurricanes is the strongest side, and that's the side we was on, and it started off as, early in the week, we accustomed to hurricanes all the time down there, and I was 14 at the time, and we just thought that it'd be, they were saying it was gonna be strong, wasn't gonna be strong. So, long story short, we ended up deciding to stay home, going around the corner from my house to a church, and stay on the second floor, to ride out the hurricane. It came in and obviously caused historic type damage. And, we ended up getting trapped and had to, go to the attic part of the church because of the water levels had risen, above two floors, 2 stories. So that was the only, resort for us. And, thankfully, the water never made it as high to the roof of the church. And, after some hours, it started to recede and go down. And, was very blessed to be able to sit up there and ride out the storm. We just see all this water rushing in the church, windows blown out, doors blown out. And, the water slowly starts to creep to my ankles, to my calf, and last resort was to go to the attic. And that's where, me and my family kind of rode out the rest of the storm. And, I'm here today because of that.
And obviously being 14 and that all happened, like how did that end up shaping how you viewed the world? Because obviously at 14 you don't expect something like that to happen.
Yeah, you're a kid at 14, used to just playing with your friends, going outside playing all the time. And, something like that is so traumatic, go through your life and, you lose pretty much. I lost pretty much everything besides my PlayStation, 2 pair of shoes, and like maybe 2 pairs of clothes, 3 pair of clothes, because we didn't expect that to happen, and we didn't expect to be gone as long. So that was all I had. My house went underwater, and nothing in the house was able to be saved besides just important paperwork that we kept on top of the bed in the container that all the bed did was go up and come back down. So it makes you just understand that material things aren't, important. It can be taken away like that. And life is what, should matter. And making the best of life and knowing that I just use the game of basketball, for example, we go out there and leave it all there on the floor. And, win or lose at the end of the day, when we step off this floor, we have life. It's everyday life, family, kids, wives, whatever it may be. That's what matters. Playing the game of basketball is just something we love to do, and obviously we're passionate in it and want to be the best in it. And but at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. Whether you lose a game, lose a championship, or it just don't pan out the way you want it to be. At the end of the day, if you can go home to your family, that's what matters. So it just made me realize that material things isn't the most important thing like you would think when you a young kid, is that, oh, I got these shoes, or I got this game console, or this whatever it may be, bike. Those things aren't important. Your life and your family is.
How did it feel going back outside and seeing what had happened? Because obviously you have like memories pre-Katrina and then post-Katrina in like a space of a few days.
Right. It's just you just don't realize a few hours, 5-6 hours, that a whole city can be wiped clean almost. You just don't realize rain, wind, and water could destroy a city, in that capacity. And I just remember walking outside that church, maybe the next morning, and seeing a house that was next door moved and picked up into the middle of the street, and you could see right through it. It's just things like that you just don't imagine to see. And it's just crazy casinos being picked up from the beach and moved across the highway. Those are images that you just don't see on a daily basis. And to be able to see how strong Mother Nature can really be, I tell you, it's a sight to see.
What did you do in terms of accommodation afterwards?
We was pretty much homeless. We had no home. All we had was the church still, and we had to continue to stay in the church. I remember taking showers in a bucket with bottled water. Just obviously all the water that come out of the sinks or in the bathtub was all contaminated now, and all we had was just bottles of water that we was able to take showers with, and slept on the floor until FEMA was able to come down, and the government was able to come down and send FEMA trailers for the surviving ones that was there. And once we was able to get a FEMA trailer, which maybe was not that big, I could just say not that big, it gave us somewhere to sleep until we was able to get back on our feet.
And didn't you leave to go to Atlanta with your mum?
Yeah, I went to my mom. Took all of us to Atlanta with her, my aunt, just so we wouldn't fall behind in school as much as possible. And so I went and stayed and lived in Atlanta, Marietta, Georgia, for a few months, and then I went back home.
And how long were you in the FEMA trailer?
We was in a trailer for a couple years. I was in 8th or 9th grade when that happened, and I don't think we got out of the trailer until maybe my 10th or 11th grade year in high school. So we spent about a good year or 2 years in it.
And do you find yourself still thinking about that time? Because obviously you've gone on to achieve so much success and everything,
mm-hmm.
but obviously you've still had that experience. So do you find yourself occasionally, when you're in your apartment or whatever, thinking, wow, how far have I come?
Of course, especially when you see other people go through, something traumatic, like whether it's earthquakes, whether it's hurricanes, whether it's a bad flood, tornadoes. I always, have a soft spot for, those victims. And, every day I'm able to, wake up and play the game of basketball, the game that I love to play, and I have my family around. I'm thankful when I'm at home in the summer times and in my own house that I was able to build, and I'm able to sit back and just think about how far I came, and say that everything that I'm doing, it has a purpose, and I just use it as my why, you know.
And how did Hurricane Katrina end up affecting your basketball development? Because I imagine you couldn't like there weren't courts and stuff to go and play at. So.
I mean, I wouldn't say it affected me. I felt like it helped me, become tough. Know when things get tough on the court that I've been in tougher, moments. Um, when things seem impossible on the court, um, I've been in those moments, where it seemed like wouldn't be here. That's something impossible, and I'm here. So it just made me a tougher person, strong-minded, strong backbone, and um, just know that I've been in tougher, situations. So it helps me.
And do you find that you're still going back to Biloxi? Like, has it changed a lot over the years?
Yeah, I mean, Biloxi is grown and developed. A lot of new things, a lot of new casinos, and a lot of people has came back. It's a lot of homes and a lot of places that's still empty, but it's a lot of new businesses and a lot of new places, and um, it's home. So I'll always go back.
Well, 12 years after Katrina, you were in Houston when Hurricane Harvey arrived, right?
Got no
So,
good luck, right?
yeah, so were you thinking, like, I don't know, like, is this going to happen again? Like,
Right.
did you fear the worst?
Definitely, and I have a big pond in the back of my house, so when Harvey came, it was one of those hurricanes that it was just a rainstorm, it was just a lot of rain for like 3-4 days straight continuously. So and of course that pond, came out and looked or threatened like it was going, get to the house, but thankfully the way they developed them homes and built them homes, it never got too close to the house, but definitely was thinking like, here we go again, but um, once again was able to get through, and very thankful.
Well, thanks, Isaiah.
Thank you.
Cheers.
No problem.